Time now for some training camp battles on defense. We are finally at the point where the shells are going on in training camp, and we're finally here. We're going to begin with cornerback. And again, this is the way I have the depth chart set up. The Cowboys want to make Trevon Diggs their number 2 corner. They want him to start for this team. And I want to acknowledge here once again that if you are a rookie, especially at the cornerback spot, life is difficult on you. It is not easy. So I am excited about Diggs. I know so many of you are. Does not guarantee he's going to have it quite like that. So let's say, though, that Diggs is 1 starter. He's probably CB2. I know there's been buzz about moving Cheeto to safety. I think you got to play him at corner. I think that is the spot that he needs to play. I know he's played some safety before, but you need him out there at corner. He's not great. He's not the best guy out there, but he's your best bet right now. Now, one veteran to also watch out for here is Daryl Worley. Now, I am okay with him. I don't love him necessarily. I think at worst, though, he's a really nice backup corner for you. I don't think he would beat Awuzie. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll get to see in camp. But I think those 3 guys are mainly competing for an outside corner role. And what I think ends up happening, especially if Diggs wins that job, it means Anthony Brown, Jourdan Lewis are once again battling for the nickel corner role. Now, we've done this before. And the Cowboys, even with previous regime, but this front office paid him, they keep trying to make Anthony Brown the guy. He gets beat less than Jourdan Lewis does. At the same time, he doesn't make as many plays on the football as Jourdan Lewis does. So I know many of you are team-free Jourdan, and you want Jourdan Lewis to start. But if it's Diggs and Awuzie on the outside, I think that means it ends up being Anthony Brown at the nickel. But I'm going to make this the pinned comment. So get your votes in. Type JL for Jourdan Lewis or type AB for Anthony Brown. Let's talk defensive end here. That other starting role has changed. The battle is now very different, and I'm not sure it's going to be a huge battle either. Crawford, Aldon Smith, Everson Griffen. These are the guys who are going to quote-unquote compete. I think in reality, you'll see them all play, and I know that Crawford was the favorite as of 2 days ago, or I should say as of Wednesday evening, but I am not convinced Crawford is a true quote-unquote starter. I think you'll see a heavy rotation of Crawford, of Aldon Smith, of Everson Griffen, but I think that Crawford now is going to have fewer snaps. He'll still be used, but he'll play some DT as well, but I think Crawford and Aldon Smith, who in reality, I don't know what we're going to get out of him. He hasn't played in so long. I am optimistic, but I want to see it happen first. I think the defensive end battle is over already because they signed Everson Griffen. Now, could he be horrible? Sure, of course. Do I think that happens? No, I don't. So in terms of who is your quote-unquote starter in what's going to be a rotation, you'll see all of these guys get on the field. I think it's Everson Griffen. But I do want to hear from you guys too. Get your votes in. EG for Griffen, TC for Crawford, or AC for Aldon Smith. Now, we've told you guys about these hats before, and a lot of you have bought them, so wanted to make sure none of you missed out. Available at chatsports.com/Dallas hat are the new, what Fanatics calls the Summer Official Sideline Series hats. They've got the 2 different styles there. And if you're into it, I'm not, but it's actually selling quite well, I'm told, is the Straw Bucket hat. They are all available at chatsports.com/Dallas hat. So if you're into it, go check it out right now. That link, of course, will be in the comments, and it will be in the description. Now, we went through the starters. I think all 3 of those guys make the team, barring a pay cut or something crazy with Tyrone Crawford. So now you've got 4 quote-unquote defensive ends, which means there's a numbers game here. And I think the Everson Griffen signing has a bigger impact on Dorance Armstrong. And also, You got Randy Gregory looking there in the background too. I don't know what happens with Dorance Armstrong. There legitimately might be one spot open for the four guys we're discussing. Dorance Armstrong, also Bradlee Anae. You guys know how I feel about Anae. You saw our draft coverage. You saw the immediate breakdown. I love the pick. I like Bradlee Anae more than I like Dorance Armstrong, but he is also a first-year player. Maybe they try to practice squad stash him. Maybe they just try and trade Dorance Armstrong instead. And there were draft picks last year, too, those day 3 guys. Joe Jackson didn't make much of an impact last year. Jalen Jelks was more or less an IR stash, but does carry some edge outside linebacker flexibility that I think might matter for this Cowboys team. But between your big four of Lawrence and Crawford and Smith and Griffen, and potentially Randy Gregory, if he gets reinstated, who knows, of course, you might have to keep only one guy from these four. Now, that is a good problem to have. Having depth is not a bad thing. But who are you keeping? If hypothetically you can only keep one guy, who is it? Type 1 for Dorance Armstrong, 2 for Bradlee Anae, 3 for Joe Jackson, 4 for Jalen Jelks. For me, folks, I'm typing in my 2 every time. Now, Griffen could also have an impact on Trystan Hill because Tyrone Crawford can play defensive tackle. They drafted Neville Gallimore. Trystan Hill and that potentially maybe an extra defensive end, that might be a roster battle. Hill right now, I truly believe, is fighting for his life on this Cowboys team. Was a bust last year, didn't have a great season, was falling asleep in meetings. It was a problem for the Cowboys. That's why they brought in Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe and signed Neville Gallimore. Antoine Woods offers you, nose tackle, but Trystan Hill does not. If you include Tyrone Crawford as a DT, Hill's your 6th guy, in all seriousness. So there is a very real possibility with an extra guaranteed spot at defensive end now gone thanks to Everson Griffen, that Trystan Hill does not make this team. So get your votes in here. What do you think? And what do you think ends up happening? Will Trystan Hill make the Cowboys roster in 2020? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no. Then we'll talk about the linebackers here for a little bit as well. It's a really interesting spot that the Cowboys are in here. Your top 3's locked in. I think Joe Thomas is safe, which means there's 1, maybe 2 spots, the 3 guys. Justin March, Luke Gifford, and I will encourage everyone to keep an eye out for one Francis Bernard, the linebacker out of Utah, an older player, but I think fits what the Cowboys are looking for, much like Luke Gifford fit as a backup linebacker. Is he going to start? God, no, at least you hope not. But as a special teams depth guy, you want to kind of bring along a little bit? I think that makes some sense. So I think defensively, you got the corner spot, defensive end, some depth across the board. I think safety is pretty clear here, but I am curious to see exactly how these camp battles turn out in a training camp that won't be as competitive as they normally are because, well, there's just less of it. We have almost 800 people live right now, so if you are not subscribed, I want you guys to hit that red button. We got a lot of people I know that watch the show every day. We also know that something like half of you are subscribed, but don't actually watch the show, which is really weird to me. So if you're in that group, you keep coming back, maybe you didn't even realize you weren't subscribed. Now's the time to do it. Training camp is here for the Dallas Cowboys. No one will keep you more updated than we will here. That's why we went live late Wednesday night with all the Everson Griffen news, because we kept you guys updated. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to us here at the Cowboys Report. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.